new Soul Silver video. Gee, what a surprise. Better that than the Water Temple. And I've been surprised to discover that some of you people actually like that place. What's wrong with you people? This is the freaking Water Temple, the bane of every gamer. Well, people will like anything, I guess. As I've said before, you guys are batshit insane. Well, not that I'm not, but still, liking the Water Temple, ugh. I wonder what kind of bizarro world would have people like that. Well, apparently the real world's doing well enough in that department. Anyway, enough about that. I've just beaten the last rocket/scientist that is in the portion of the building that we can access right now. So it's time to move on and rescue the director. However, we talked to him and something seems way off about that guy. Wonderful shows to praise Team Rocket. Of course, he's not the director. When I said Petrel's abilities as Master of Disguise would come in handy later on, this is what I was referring to. This is actually Petrel impersonating the director. And you know what that means? That means it's rematch time. And his lineup is very, very, very different from the last time we fought him. This is to mirror the fact that the two Petrel fights were presumably against different executives in Gold, Silver, Crystal, but they didn't bother changing his lineup here. His lineup is now 5 coughings and a wheezing. Yeah, most boring lineup ever, and for that reason I wonder if I'm even going to bother commentating this fight. I mean, if I can take this coughing, I can take all 5 of them, and only wheezing is going to be maybe any trouble, but Weezing's a physically defensive Pokemon, and I'm using a Gengar, which is a special sweeping king, so I'm not expecting that Weezing to survive much longer than the coughings, if at all. And by the way, I just said that Petrel had 2 fights that were totally unrelated combined under this one character in the remakes. Well, Proton had much the same treatment because they actually merged the last grunt that you fight in the Slowpoke well and one of the rocket admins in the rocket tower, in the part that we can't go. The rocket tower? The radio tower, sorry. Well, I guess now it's the rocket tower with so many freaking rockets being there and all, but still, they took 2 totally unrelated fights and combined them to make this one character called Proton. I think the fight in the Slowpoke well in Gold, Silver, Crystal only had a coughing, and the actual Proton fight in Gold, Silver, Crystal only had a Golbat, so they took the 2 together and made Proton's lineup from that. So that was your little bit of trivia for the day, a little bit of insight into how Team Rocket and their executives came to be designed in Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Of course, I don't know why they took different courses of action for Proton and Petrel, but it's not like it matters anyway because Petrel just went down. And for some reason he decides to tell me where he put the director, which is in the underground warehouse of the department store at the far end of the Goldenrod Tunnel, so we're going to have to go into the underground and through a tunnel that we couldn't access before in order to be able to reach the section of the basement where the director is locked up. And I think I already brought that up in my Crystal LP, but you know what Petrel should have done to make you rage quit and never bother with Team Rocket again, and then they would go totally, unattacked and stuff, and they would do whatever they please, is if he actually went down into the basement, put the director elsewhere, then disguised as the director again. I swear, I guess anyone would rage quit at that point, but then again, we're talking about video game villains. They don't really want to win, and they have to have some, loopholes that allow you to beat them, otherwise it wouldn't be much of a game, now would it? Anyway, getting some quick healing while I'm in the area, because our next battle is going to be against Silver. Yeah, you didn't expect that we were going to be let off the hook forever, did you? And besides, the last time we fought him was all the way back to Inequity, so that was a long while ago, so I guess in a way we're long overdue for a rematch, and so is he, because as you could figure out... Oh! We got one of the Kimono girls here. This is the 4th one that we've encountered so far, and she does like all the others. She just stands around and doesn't do much of anything. You may be able to face the legendary Pokemon and then she stops. This is just hinting at the fact that the Kimono girls are going to be instrumental in going to face Lugia later on in this LP. No entry beyond this point. Well, that's what this little basement key is for. So, all you have to do is go down those stairs and Silver is gonna come along and interrupt you and, or not, I guess. I'm gonna change leads then. I'm gonna go with Crobat because, as I said, it's sort of more difficult than the others to level up. Hey, it's not like I regret using it, but it's just that, you know, there's always a Pokemon that ends up being harder to level than the others on any playthrough, and this is it. But make no mistake, Crobat is still a very, very, very good Pokemon. There's absolutely no doubt about that. I'm trying to come up with better choices that I could have used, and I'm still completely drawing a blank there. I'm still very happy with the way Crobat's been fighting for me. Just wish it had a little bit more type coverage, which is why I don't run poison attacks on it, by the way, because poison is totally redundant with flying, since poison's only effective against grass, and fly's effective against grass and other types on top of that. Oh, there we go! I was wondering where he was gone. I figured maybe I had to go through this tunnel first, which would have sort of explained the level increase thing I was talking about in the previous video, but I guess not. And by the way, you're gonna get to see the Quilava lineup that is 2 levels higher than the Feraligatr lineup, just so you know. So as a result, Quilava should be level 34. Anyway, Silver battle number 4. As I said, number 3. It's been a while since then, and we start out with a Golbat. I have my Crobat in the lead. My Crobat has killed a lot of Zubats and Golbats in this LP, but this one's actually a bit higher in level, so let's see if there's going to be enough for the one-hit kill. Maybe, because, well, Golbat's a rather frail guy to begin with. There we go. So, it must not have been by too much, though. Magnemite, still unevolved at that point. What's he thinking? Anyway, now I actually have a good answer to Magnemites and Magnetons and whatever other steals may come my way. Got a freaking Entei now! I could use Dig or I could use Flamethrower. Both are going to be more than enough to overkill that Magnemite to oblivion. There we go. It's level 30, by the way, so why is it not evolved yet? Well, I guess it's level 28 in the Meganium lineup, so... No, I have absolutely no idea. Anyway, Gengar is going to be opposed to Haunter now. If that reminds you of the Ecruteak gym, that's perfectly normal. Kill it with a super effective Shadow Ball. I don't think there is any danger of me actually having to take a hit on that Haunter. Here we go, it's down. Gengar at level 42. And Sneasel is next, so I'm going to send Entei back. You know, it starts getting really fun when you've got lots of team members to work with, because early on in the game you might encounter some Pokemon that you don't have an answer for because you still lack type coverage. But at that point of the game it's actually pretty fun, you know, seeing those Pokemon that used to give you trouble, but now you can just Flamethrower them to oblivion. Anyway, this is the first time we fought that Sneasel since he stole it from that guy in Cyanwood. And we're going to finish that up with a level 34 Quilava. obviously Lapras is going to be the one I'm going to use, though I could have also used Entei with Dig. That would have been a good answer as well, but I just find the stab serve from a water type to be more valuable. So, that was Silver Battle number 4. 5 turns, 5 hits, 5 kills. He's becoming more and more of a wuss every time I fight him, if anything. And that's also going to hold true for his personality, because this defeat, he's not having this it doesn't count outlook anymore, and he's taking it really, really personally this time, probably because of the talking to he got from Lance. So yeah, he's basically going to become a big bleeding heart later on in the game, which was never really made clear in Gold, Silver, Crystal, but it's a lot more apparent in the remakes. Anyway, now that this is done and over with, there are a whole bunch of rockets to fight in this room, and after that we're going to be taking on a puzzle that, ironically enough, is harder than any of the gym puzzles we've encountered so far. But anyway, in the recent news department, how about that Pokéearth 2? Yeah, I can imagine a lot of people were seething with rage when they saw the news this morning. Because if you hadn't caught the news a few days ago, Junichi Masuda is going to appear on Pokemon Smash to make a quote-unquote major announcement. And there were a lot of theories as to what it could be. It could have been a deluxe version for Black and White, but then again, it would have been way too early. A popular theory was that it would have been Keldeo being revealed, but once again, too early. It could have been a spin-off, but Game Freak doesn't make spin-offs, except for Pokéearth, so it all makes sense now. And, you know, they really do have a way of letting us down, don't they? It's not the first time that they say, oh, ho, ho, we got a big announcement coming up in a few days, but we're not going to tell you anything right now. Whenever they do that, it always turns out to be total crap. So yeah, I guess lots of people are going to be angry this morning when reading that Koro revealed a new game and it turns out to be Pokéearth 2. I mean, is it a sequel that's even wanted? Did the first game, which was actually the second game, because there was a previous Pokéearth game that was, well, I don't understand the specifics, but it wasn't really a full retail game that you could hold on a disc or a cartridge. No, I didn't want to talk to Crobat. But yeah, it's like, and the worst thing about it is that Nico CW, one of my regulars, actually made fun of what the announcement could be, and he said it was going to be Pokéearth 2 Pikachu's sexy suspender striptease in space, but except for that last part, he was actually right, and that was a joke. You make a joke about a possible upcoming announcement, and you end up being right. To quote the angry video game nerd, this is like making fun of a retard. Like, what are you, retarded? Oh. Yeah, just like that. It's just insulting in every way possible. They say they got this big announcement, and then it's just, you know, something no one seems to want. And yet they think of it so highly that they judge it necessary to have Masuda himself go on the show Pokemon Smash and announce the game. This is just baffling. I'm trying to make sense of this, and I just can't. But as I was trying to say earlier on before I went off into a tangent, is this sequel really wanted? Did the first game really sell so much that Game Freak took a look at the sale numbers and immediately thought, oh my god, we gotta make a second one! Yeah, take some man-hours that could be put to use on the deluxe version and sink them into a crappy spin-off. Once again, makes absolutely no sense. Anyway, this is going to be the end for today, so join me next time as I attempt to rescue the director of the radio station.